The hangar was silent except for the low hum of engines being tested in the distance. Rain beat gently against the metal roof, a rhythm that echoed the storm brewing inside Lieutenant Sarah Monroe's chest. She stood tall in her pressed flight suit, helmet tucked under her arm, her hazel eyes fixed on the AH-64 Apache helicopter gleaming under the fluorescent lights. It wasn't just a machine to her, it was a dream. A dream that had carried her through war, loss, and years of proving herself in a world that still doubted her. But this morning, the dream had been grounded. "Lieutenant Monroe," Major Daniels said curtly, not meeting her eyes. "Command has decided you'll be reassigned to simulation duty. No active Apache flight for now." Sarah's throat tightened. "Sir, with all due respect, I've logged over 800 flight hours. My test scores." Daniels held up a hand. "It's not about that. The colonel doesn't believe women should be flying attack helicopters into combat zones. He thinks it's unnecessary risk." Sarah blinked, disbelief hardening into anger. She had faced Taliban fire in Kandahar, flown evac missions in sandstorms, and carried wounded brothers home under fire. And now she was being told her gender made her a liability. She clenched her fists. "Sir, permission to speak freely." Daniels sighed. "Go ahead. You can tell the colonel that unnecessary risk is letting prejudice sit in the pilot's seat." She stormed out before he could reply. That evening, Sarah sat alone by the base runway. Her fingers brushed the small, faded tattoo on the back of her neck, a black falcon clutching a lightning bolt. Her father's unit emblem. He'd been an Apache pilot too, one of the first in the 101st Airborne Division. He died on a mission in Iraq when she was just 10. The tattoo was her way of carrying him with her every time she flew. She whispered into the wind, "You always said to earn respect, not demand it, but what if they never let me earn it?" The rumble of boots behind her pulled her from her thoughts. Colonel Grant himself. Tall, gray-haired, and known for running his unit like a battlefield. "Lieutenant Monroe," he said, voice clipped. "Major Daniels tells me you're unhappy with your reassignment." Sarah rose quickly, snapping to attention. "Yes, sir. I believe I've earned my place in the cockpit." Grant's gaze was icy. "Flying an Apache isn't a right. It's a responsibility. Men under your command need to trust that you can handle pressure." "Sir," she said steadily, "the enemy doesn't care if the pilot is a man or woman. They only care if we hit our target." Grant's jaw tightened. He was about to speak when something caught his eye, the small tattoo peeking from under her collar. He frowned. "That mark, is that a falcon?" Sarah hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, sir. My father, Captain David Monroe, flew with the 101 Street Kia in 2006. For the first time, the colonel's stern expression faltered. He took a step closer, eyes narrowing with recognition. "Monroe, I knew your father. He saved my convoy near Baghdad. Took heavy fire so we could escape." Sarah's breath caught. "He did." Grant nodded slowly. "He was fearless. Damn fine pilot." He stared at her a long moment, then exhaled, as if seeing her for the first time, not as a female officer but as her father's legacy. He finally said, "Report to Hangar 2 tomorrow at 0500. Let's see if his daughter can fly like he did." The next morning, the sun broke through the mist as Sarah approached the Apache. Mechanics watched quietly. She climbed into the cockpit, hands trembling, not with fear, but anticipation. Grant stood below with arms crossed. "Take her up, Lieutenant. Let's see what you've got." Engines roared to life, the rotors slicing the air. The massive machine lifted gracefully off the tarmac, steady and sure. Sarah's movements were fluid, confident, born from years of training and raw instinct. Grant watched as she maneuvered through a series of combat drills, low-level flight, tight turns, simulated missile strikes. Every move precise, fearless, commanding. When she landed, sweat beaded her brow, but her eyes shone with determination. Grant approached, his expression unreadable. Then, slowly, he saluted. "Welcome to the Apache Squadron, Captain Monroe," he said quietly. "Your father would have been proud." Sarah's throat tightened as emotion surged through her. For years she had fought not for fame or glory, but for the chance to stand where her father once stood, to prove she belonged in the sky. And now, as the wind carried the echo of the rotor blades into the distance, she finally felt it, the weight of legacy, the power of perseverance, and the peace of knowing she'd earned her wings.